Okay, let's look at this. Time management, more to come, it says. So this assignment is going to build upon itself over the next couple of weeks. And you're going to have to watch the instructional videos, and then you're going to have to tinker in spreadsheets to make it look the way you want your summertime schedule to look. Okay, so please read all through this. I'm sure you already have. Okay, and then go ahead and open yourself a spreadsheet. But don't just open the spreadsheet, okay? I'm going to ask that you do something a little different. Instead of opening a spreadsheet sheet by just pressing this button, I want you to hold your cursor over it and then go up here to choose template. And when you do that, you're going to be looking for this, okay? And if you find a different calendar template for Google Sheets somewhere else that you like better, by all means, that would be fine with me. But what you need to do for me is you need to go ahead and get rid of the months that you're not going to be needing. Okay, so we probably aren't going to need January. So you'll two-finger tap on this tab down here, and then you'll click delete. And for each of those slides, you'll do that same thing. You can read through this and learn how to customize your calendar yourself. Okay. We're not going to need February. Of course, we've went past February. We're not going to need March. So do the same thing. Two-finger tap on your mouse pad thingy and then select delete to delete these things that you don't need. And if you want to leave all the rest of the months of 2024 on here, that's fine with me. It's completely fine with me. But really, all I want you to be working on is your June, July, and August, and anything for the remainder of this school year that you want to remind yourself to get done. So, one of the things I want you to do, though, is I want you to add another sheet. So you're going to click and you're going to have a blank spreadsheet. Okay. And in here, I want you to start typing some times out. And so I'm going to show you my example for my ideal summer daily routine. Okay, I started at a 5:30 wake up time. Do I expect all of you to start at a 5:30 wake up time? Probably not. You're maybe thinking more like 8:30 or 9. But it is important to keep a very routine sleep schedule even throughout the summer if at all possible, so that you don't have to retrain your body to be ready again in August when school comes back again. Okay, so I usually wake up in the summertime around 5:30, and then I shower, freshen up, water my plants outside around 6:30. I make and eat breakfast between 7 and 7:30, and then I try to tinker in the yard a little bit. This year I'm doing something a little differently. I've decided at 10 I'm going to stop all my tinkering, and I'm going to select some novels to read through the summer. Okay? I'm going to search for more math content like I always do, but I'm only going to limit myself for a half an hour on that a day instead of geeking out on it for 2 or 3 hours a day. Okay? Search for content for computers and start planning ahead for national board certification. That's my next goal as an educator. Okay? And then I'm going to plan to have lunch at noon, like always, and then a 15-minute siesta or so after lunch with the puppa dogs. Okay? And then, of course, like I said, I like to do my mermaid practicing at the public pool if it's nice and warm. It's got to be above 80 degrees, or it's not a comfortable swimming weather for me. And then after I do that, I plan on prepping for dinner, taking the dogs out for a walk. I think that after the doggos get walked, I think we'll do a nighttime mermaid practice if there's decent weather for that. Of course, at 8, I got to wash the old face of Rooney Dooney and apply all the magic potions. And then at 8:30, I'm going to do some back porch sitting with Mr. Franzen. And then, of course, sleepy sleep. And then it starts all over again. So that's like a one whole day of my ideal summer break day. Okay, so you're going to start yours out, and you can start at whatever time you want to wake up in the morning. Okay, so if you're planning on waking up around 9, which is fine, you go like that. And if you want to do fancy time, that's fine. But if you click right here on here and then you go to format and number, you can change this to time. Okay. And so it says 9 a.m. So maybe I want to go by, maybe you guys want to go by 15-minute increments, or maybe you just want to schedule 1 hour blocks of time. It's entirely up to you, but I think it's best to go by half-hour blocks of time in the summer. Okay. Notice how this now doesn't even look like this anymore. So I'm going to go in there. I don't necessarily have to do this over again. I'm going to show you guys a quick little trick so you don't have to worry about that. Okay. I'm going to take these two and then I'm going to highlight them, and then I'm going to grab that little dot that was there and I'm going to drag it down. Look. So now I have 9 a.m., 9:30, and it automatically puts all my times in. Okay. And of course, you can extend it for as far down as you want. Maybe you want to go clear to the next day. You don't have to do that. A lot of times you don't have, like if you look at mine, I scheduled all the way again till 4:30 a.m. and then the next time of day is 5:30 a.m. And really all you're doing at night usually, and if you're smart, is doing a little bit of sleeping. So it doesn't even matter what you end up on. I mean, I could have went one more like this. Notice how it now says 5:30 a.m. sleep, so it matches up with my start time. Yeah, it's up to you. It's your calendar and your daily schedule. Okay, so that's how you get your times placed in there. Then you might want to go scooch to make this a little bit wider so that you can write things in there. If we look back at mine, I made it about 2 inches wide. If you want to get really particular, you can highlight the whole column. You can 2-finger tap here, and then you can resize that column and tell it exactly how many. And notice I have a really wonky number. It looks like a prime number to me, actually 487. Maybe I want a nice round 450 in there. Okay, it's up to you if you want to stretch that out a bit. Another thing I suggest doing when you get to this point is I suggest you do text wrapping. See this little button right here? That's handy because then if you click this middle button, that'll make all your text wrap around instead of spilling off onto the edge. Okay. So if you want to be really detailed, you know that this will still look nice if you print it out. Okay. So if you write, say, if you want to get super detailed like that, when you hit enter, then it's going to wrap around and it's going to make this cell right here a little deeper this way. Okay. And now maybe you want wider cells throughout the day here. You can go ahead and highlight all the ones you know you're going to probably want to be a little bit wider. And then on your Chromebook, your touchscreen touchpad thingy, you're going to 2-finger tap after you've selected how many rows you want a bit wider. And again, you can then click, and then you're going to find that you can resize here. The rows can be resized as well. So right now they're all set at 20. Maybe you want to set them to 35. I don't know. Okay, it's however you want it. And as usual, you can select all your cells and you can change the font. You can change the font to whatever suits your fancy. Okay, you can look up more fonts if you like fancy cursive-y fonts. I really like bad script, but I like it bolded and I like it quite a bit bigger. Okay, but do you notice how when I go bigger and bigger and bigger, then these cells aren't quite showing up enough? Okay, if we go like this, format, okay, text, nope, it's not there. Oh, yes, 2-finger tap. There should be an auto fit. section in here somewhere. Well, you'll find it. Oh, you could go fit to data. Then you could go on here. Two-finger tap. Resize rows. Fit to data. And then if you do change the size of your font, then you don't have to worry about it not showing up. Okay. Looks like we need to scooch a mooch a little bit this way so that this all fits in here. Okay. Ooh, I really don't like those numbers with that font. So I'm thinking instead of bad script for the font, I'm just going to go, Annie, use your telescope. Yeah, that's much better. And I kind of think it would be nice if it was centered, both centered this way and centered in the cell this way. So I'm going to go here and I'm going to go beep. Notice how that made it centered there. Okay. So if these end up getting bigger, in theory, then that should center as well. And it does. Okay. All right. Notice on mine, I also highlighted the different chunks of time, all one color. Okay. So like green is for yard work. And then I separated these out. But this is all the same kind of task. It's mostly researching and studying and reading and thinking type things. Okay. And this is time where I'm going to be on a device probably, the researching for math content and computers content. And for the national board certification, I'm going to be wanting to make my new spreadsheets to get some tasks lined out so that I'm prepared with my lessons next year to go ahead and start working on earning that certification. Okay, so I would like you to do that kind of thing with yours. So in order to do that, here's what you need to do. If you want that to be certain color, you find your paint bucket and you can fill it in with whatever color you like. Okay. I suggest the lighter colored or the more muted colors because otherwise it makes your font hard to read. But then again, if you want to be all jazzy and zazzy, you can go really dark, but then you can change your font color to be, instead of dark, you can go white or gray with the font color. Oops, I messed that up. Undo. Okay, so I want to select font and then go white or gray. And then that pops right off that darker background. If you really dig that, that's great too. And you notice here in your calendars, that's what they did. They did darker background. And so when you click in a cell and start typing, boom, you've got a lighter colored font. So that's going to be handy as well. So I want you guys to be thinking about what you want to add to these calendars for May, June, and July for ideas for you to do fun things. I'm pretty sure in August there's a fair in Sydney. So you might want to be thinking about how you can earn some money so that you can spend money at the fair and hang out with your friends there. So you might want to do some planning. Of course, in April or May, there's a spring fling. You might want to add that into the calendar. And then when we're done, in theory, we would be able to print all this and you can hang it up in your room somewhere. So hopefully it will be helpful for you to be good, responsible, productive young humans that get more respect from their parents because they're managing their time a little better. Anywho, this was fun. More updates to come as we evolve through this process together. This is my first time teaching this lesson and even thinking it up. So hopefully you enjoy putting this together as much as I'm enjoying getting it ready for you. Ta-ta for now. Like and subscribe.